Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are starting to attack into the last cut silage bales, the last silage bales that were baled this year, 2023. Well, yeah, 2023, the last bales that were baled. Now these bales were part of grazing fields. There's some of these bales here are from this field here. We fenced off half of this field and grazed half of it to cattle, and the other half just got too long because we put a lot of slurry out on that far end of this field, and the grass just got so long that it would be pointless letting cattle go graze it because they'd be trampling more of it than they would eat it. So we decided to bale it, and we done that this year with other grazing fields as well, where we just fenced half of it off because sections of it just got so long that it would be just a waste of grass to let cattle roam in it, trample it and graze it and all that, because they do more trampling than they would graze up. So the brother baled these ones. There's some of these bales are from this field here, and more of them is from a different field that we actually had to draw them on a trailer to get them here. It's my uncle's field that we do like, well, for legal reasons we rent off him, but you know, he's my old man's brother. He's my uncle, so he sort of just gives us the field to let cattle graze and all that, because he likes to see himself as a farmer as well. So yeah, so some of them bales came off that field as well, and the rest of them came off this field. So we'll go get the international and we'll see what these bales are like. We usually put in 2 bales, so this is going to be no different. We're going to put in 2. So those 2 here, and hopefully I don't get stuck or the wheels don't start spinning coming in the gateway here, because where you can see this sort of caravan, the topper there, the slurry tank and the trailer, they're all parked on a roadway, sort of stones. Like, that's a solid ground that they're lying on there. So by right on one of the days we'll just have to move all that, because we cannot be driving on ground constantly going in and out with areas like that, because we're just be bogging up the field and just making life a bit more harder on ourselves, with the higher risk of us actually getting stuck with our international, because it doesn't really have wide tires. It's the standard original back and front tires that's on our international that would have been on it from factory when it rolled off the factory lines. So there are plans to put a thicker set of back tires on it. We got our hands on I think it's a 188 back wheels, but I don't know, I'll be more inclined to keep the original ones on it, to keep it original. But I understand why we need the thicker tires as well, because that's our main working tractor. It does brings home the bales, it does the top and it does the slurry, and so the wider back wheels probably would or will help us a lot. But you know, like, the original wheels on it is just nicer to have. So yeah, anyways, enough talking. The cattle here are getting hungry. We'll go and start throwing in 2 bales. They're all happy out stuffing their faces with silage. So as I mentioned, these silage bales were off the grazing fields. I showed you the grazing field down below there, and it's pretty nice stuff. I don't know if you've seen in a couple of clips back, when I was taking off the net, the bale stayed as one. Sometimes with other silage bales we've put in weeks ago, when you take off the net, on the last layer of net that you're taking off, the bottom of the bale will just fall down on the ground, and then you're trying to pull the net out from it, which is, you're afraid then the net might break, and some of it then will be left within the silage, and it could be then a choking hazard for the cattle. But no, those bales were very well compacted. The brother bales them with the old contractor setup, the Case 5130 and the Tarp Bio 2-in-1 baler, which you probably have seen on the channel before in a couple of my videos. So yeah, the bales it's nice and dry stuff. Well, it's not too dry, but it's not too wet either. There's a bit of moisture in it. If I just grab a piece of silage and just twist it, there's no moisture or any water dripping down onto the ground, but when you twist it hard, you can kind of see the moisture just seeping through the silage when you put a bit of power to it. So yeah, it's good quality silage, not too wet, not too dry. Should be good feeding in that as well, hopefully. So yeah, like even looking at it, it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. And also another point is it sliced it very well. This is probably a good example here. It sliced that silage very, very well, because we have some wet bales, which these bales are baled on the silage field. I think I mentioned it before. That's what's left now. There was a couple of bales there mixed in that the brother baled, so we wanted to get them ones out of the way first here before we moved down there, which they are now all gone. The ones that the brother baled that were here are now gone, so we've moved to the ones that's along the ditch there down the field. These ones here now are from the silage field. We mowed it one day, and it didn't really get much drying. It was later on in the summer. It was around July time, like May and June time. We had such good weather with sun and heat, and if we'd baled the silage then, we would have gotten a nice it would have wilted a bit better than what these ones did. But there's a hole in that one there. But yeah, these ones were mowed one day, and then the next day it was picked up, it was baled, and my God, they were wet bales. I think I mentioned the 6280. The brother was driving the 6280. I was up along with them. My tractor broke down that I was driving, so I had to hop up beside him. He had the double bale hand on the back, and the bales that were on the top of the field were all right, but along the bottom of the field, because it's sort of a hilly field, which is why we call it the Fair Hill. So the fields at the bottom of the hill were wet, the fields at the top of the hill were okay. But when he was picking up the bales at the bottom of the hill with the double bale handler, and then trying to drive up the hill to the gate, to where the gate is, to get out onto the road to come back to the farm, it struggled. He had it in 4-wheel drive. The front of the tractor was lifting ever so slightly, not so much that you could actually see it lifting up off the ground clearly, but enough that the front wheel was spinning, because it was in 4-wheel drive, but it wasn't digging the ground. So it was lifted up enough that the wheel was spinning, but not digging the ground. So yeah, for a 6280, like, those bales were wet. So yeah, them bales were wet, and as I mentioned, that silage bales, and hopefully the ones to come after this one as well, it was so easy split that the bale splitter had no bother slicing through it, and when you were pulling away with your section, with your quarter of a bale on the bale splitter, it pulled off no bother. It broke off easily, And with those wet bales, we put in a couple of them before because, well, as I mentioned, a couple of the bales that the brother baled were mixed in with them. There was a line on the front, but they were stacked on top, those ones. So the silage field bales were at the bottom, so we had to take them out, put that one in, and then when the one that the brother baled that was stacked on top fell down onto the ground, we put that one in. So there'd be one bale that was on the silage field, and then the other bale then was the one that the brother baled. And once we used up all them, obviously we're moving down to the last bit of the silage bales that the brother baled. It's getting a bit confusing. Anyways, the silage field bales are wet, and they seem to this bale splitter doesn't seem to be able to slice them as easy as this silage here, because it's nice and dry, and the wet ones seem to be more sticky. They don't tend to break off when you're pulling forward as good as this silage right here. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, they're all fed. That's the video. Very good silage bales for a grazing field, really, that only got either a bit of slurry or a bit of bag manure. Not too bad at all. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my merch. And I'll see you in my next video very soon. Take care.